Dynamite Staffing. It's our privilege to welcome you to Dynamite Staffing LLC, a division of Dynamite Conventions. We wish you every success in your new position with us, and we hope that you will quickly feel at home. This training, along with other resources, were developed to help guide you through some of the areas and expectations we have for all of our employees, as well as what you can expect from us. We hope that your experience with us will be challenging, enjoyable, and rewarding. Dynamite Staffing Overview. Dynamite Staffing History. Starting as Tokyo and Tulsa in 2007, a fan-based convention with a focus on Japanese anime, culture, and pop culture, whose mission is stated to educate and build community through entertainment. Tokyo and Tulsa proves that education does not have to come from traditional sources and that even two vastly different worldviews can find common ground. In January of 2016, Dynamite Staffing LLC, a division of Dynamite Conventions, the parent company, was created just to handle the logistics and overall staffing needs of Dynamite Conventions. Dynamite Staffing General Policies. Dynamite Staffing LLC is an equal opportunity employer. We will extend equal opportunity to all individuals without regard to race, religion, color, sex, including pregnancy, sexual orientation, and gender identity, national origin, disability, age, genetic information, or any other statutes protected under applicable federal, state, or local laws. Our policy reflects and affirms the company's commitment to the principles of fair employment and the elimination of all discriminatory practices. Details of our equal opportunity employment policies are available within your employee handbook. Dynamite Staffing Employee Structure. Dynamite Staffing LLC generally does not offer individual employees a formal employment contract with the company. Employment is at will, meaning that you or the company may end your employment at any time for any lawful reason. Dynamite Staffing LLC operates to provide conventions and other events with staffing solutions, so all employment is on a temporary basis for the duration of these events, each with its individual provisions and contracts. Employment within a single event does not guarantee employment for any subsequent events conducted by Dynamite Conventions. Dynamite Staffing TNT Employee Structure. The TNT employee structure is essentially separated into two distinct areas: contract employees, consisting of senior leadership, known as Koho, and department heads, which are known as senseis. Temporary employees, called senpai, formerly known as concom, and kohai, being all other positions. Dynamite Staffing employee hours. Expected hours of work based on departmental requirements. Contract employees. Hours are based on the required needed hours of the department as specified within your individual contract. Temporary employees. Hours are based on the required needed hours of the department, but will fall within the time frame starting Tuesday, 12:01 a.m. of the week of the event until the following Monday at 11:59 p.m. This does not mean that you were required to work all the hours as stated from Tuesday to Monday. This is only the expected working time frame of an event, and your required time will fall within that time frame. Attendance at the contracted event is mandatory for all employees. If you are unable to complete all required hours, you may be required to forego any compensation and/or benefits, as well as pay for expenses at the discretion of Dynamite Staffing Management. Dynamite Staffing TNT Dress Code. Dress code for the event. T-shirts appropriate to your department or position. One may cosplay while on duty with supervisor approval. Convention t-shirt must be worn where the front and back are visible at all times. If supplied t-shirts are altered in any fashion and are non-wearable or break dress code, you will be required to purchase another. Dynamite Staffing Personnel Records. Maintenance of accurate personnel records is required by Dynamite Staffing Human Resources Department. Any change in name, home address, telephone number, marital status, number of dependents, immigration status, or any other pertinent information must be reported. By promptly notifying Dynamite Staffing Human Resources Department of such changes, you will avoid compromise of your benefit eligibility, the return of W-2 forms, or similar inconvenience. Dynamite Staffing Right to Monitor. The use of Dynamite Convention issued devices, email, internet systems, or contracted systems are at all times the property of Dynamite Conventions. By accessing the internet, intranet, and electronic mail through provided services, you acknowledge that Dynamite Staffing, by itself or through its internet service provider, may from time to time monitor, log, and gather statistics on employee internet activity and may examine all individual connections and communications. Please note that the company uses email filters to block spam and computer viruses. These filters may from time to time block legitimate email messages. Dynamite Staffing Communications. External communications. Unless it is directly part of your job or your area of expertise within the organization, you are not to answer any Dynamite Convention-related information in a public manner. If you are in a situation where you're being requested to provide information regarding any Dynamite conventions or staffing information, please follow your proper chain of command and direct the request to your immediate supervisor. When engaged in public forums or on social media venues dealing with the business of Dynamite conventions, directly or indirectly, know that as an employee, you are seen as a representative of the company. The use of any language or comments deemed as inflammatory in nature or of detriment to Dynamite conventions may lead to possible termination of employment. Any request for media will be redirected to the public relations team. Dynamite Staffing Workplace Violence. All employees, customers, vendors, and business associates should be treated with courtesy and respect at all times. Conduct that threatens, intimidates, or coerces another employee, customer, vendor, or business associate will not be tolerated. Dynamite convention resources may not be used to threaten, stalk, or harass anyone at or outside the workplace. Dynamite Staffing treats threats coming from an abusive personal relationship as it does other forms of violence. Indirect or direct threats of violence, incidents of actual violence or activities will be reported as soon as possible to a supervisor or human resources. When reporting a threat or an incident of violence, the employee should be as specific and detailed as possible. Employees should not place themselves in peril, nor should they attempt to intercede during an incident. Employees are required to inform the HR department of any protective or restraining orders that have obtained that list the workplace as a protected area, as Dynamite Conventions is committed to supporting employees and the public they serve. Dynamite Staffing, Anti-Discrimination and Harassment. Dynamite Staffing is an equal opportunity employer and makes all employment decisions without regard to race, religion, color, sex, including pregnancy, sexual orientation, and gender identity, national origin, disability, age, genetic information, or any other protected status under applicable federal, state, or local laws. This policy applies to all terms and conditions of employment, including but not limited to hiring, placement, promotion, termination, transfer, leaves of absence, compensation, and training. If you believe that an employment decision has been made that does not conform with management's commitment to equal opportunity, you should promptly bring this matter to the attention of your immediate supervisor, designated manager, or human resources. Your complaint will be properly, thoroughly, and impartially investigated. Dynamite Staffing, Compensation, Promotions, and Transfers. All checks or payments to employees will be made available starting the last business day of the month following the worked event and may be picked up at the Dynamite Conventions office located at 2316 West New Orleans, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma 74011. All unclaimed checks will be mailed out to employees Listed current address 7 business days after this distribution period starts. Dynamite staffing practice is that job openings or promotions that are intended to be filled from within the company are done so, but does reserve the right, however, to transfer or promote an employee without posting the availability of that position. Temporary transfers may be made at the discretion of the company management. You are eligible to request a transfer and to be considered for promotions upon satisfactory performance of your current job. Your eligibility is also dependent, of course, on having the needed skills, education, experience, and other qualifications that are required for the job. However, a transfer may take place at any point during employment if the management of this company feels that it is in the best interest of the company to make an exception to this guideline. Please speak directly to the Director of HR with any direct questions regarding the subject. Dynamite staffing, ethics, and conflicts of interest. It is the policy of Dynamite Staffing that its employees, staff, contractors, and management uphold the highest standards of ethical and professional behavior. To that end, they shall dedicate themselves to carrying out the mission of this company and shall hold paramount the safety, health, welfare of the public in the performance of the duties, as well as treat with respect and consideration all persons, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, maternity, marital, or family status, disability, age, or national origin. Recognize that the chief function of the company at all times is to serve the best interest of its customers in pursuant of its mission. Respect the structure and responsibilities of leadership. Provide them with facts and advice as a basis for their making policy decisions and uphold and implement policies adopted by the leadership. Conduct organizational and operational duties with positive leadership exemplified by open communication, creativity, dedication, and compassion. Demonstrate personal integrity, truthfulness, and honesty in all activities in order to inspire confidence and trust in such activities. Dynamite staffing, conflicts of interest. A conflict of interest is a situation in which individuals have competing interests or loyalties. A conflict of interest can exist in many different situations. The easiest way to explain a conflict of interest is by using some examples. With a public official whose personal interests conflict with his or her professional position. With a person who has a position of authority in one organization that conflicts with his or her interest in another. A person who has conflicting responsibilities. Conflicts of interest, when left unaddressed, can cause individuals and the company undue stress, lost revenue, loss of network, and even legal action. When a conflict of interest arises, please inform your supervisor of the conflict so that it may be addressed. Most situations are easily resolved if reported early. Not reporting a conflict of interest will result in the company taking action as it deems appropriate under the circumstances and in accordance with applicable law, up to and including termination.